And what are some of the major issues that we need to look out for?
Yeah, they're looking at issues that actually create enthusiasm and intensity among the electorate. Crime, immigration, inflation, and gender in middle America are issues that will cause people to go and vote. And on all those issues, they favor Trump. I was with Frank Luntz, who's a noted pollster and analyst. He runs these focus groups in this country. I was with him in Washington earlier this week, and he told me that Republicans are going to win everything unless Donald Trump just can't control himself again. I mean, it's really up to, isn't it amazing that one person's temperament will determine the direction of our nation and, in fact, the free world in many ways? Because if he just can't control himself again, the independents might shift back. But between getting shot in the ear and Biden not being able to function, Trump has now won a majority of the independents, and that's where the election is going to be determined. The bases are still the same, about 35% Republican, 35% Democrat. It's that 30% in the middle shifting one way or another that will determine who the next president of the United States is.
JD Vance, as you well know, is the pick for Vice President for Donald Trump. He's from Ohio, about to turn 40, a lawyer, politician, a Marine veteran. What do you think of JD Vance?
Well, it's a good news, bad news thing. He's young. That's very helpful because people are really tired of really old people in politics and they're looking to the next generation. And he's still not even 40 years old. He's been successful. He is articulate, but he's very much like President Trump. So it doesn't broaden the appeal of the ticket whatsoever. If he'd have chosen Marco Rubio, he would have had this Latino appeal. So what it is really is a sign of either confidence or overconfidence by choosing him because he really adds very little to the ticket. Ohio used to be a swing state, but it's now a Republican state. The big swing states are Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Nevada. As those four states go, probably the election will go.
And what about Kamala Harris's pick? Who do you think she will choose and why?
So because Pennsylvania is one of those swing states, my money would be on Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. It's an interesting thing because he's a Jewish man. That's been a big debate here. Netanyahu was here this week. That might offend some of the Muslim population, for instance, in Minnesota or Michigan. But he's been a very effective governor, and I think he's a formidable candidate. And he's also younger. And then there's other Democrat governors like Andy Beshear of Kentucky that are probably on the short list, but I think Josh Shapiro is probably the front runner.
All right. And what do you make of, we're seeing a lot of celebrities come out and make their statements for either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Do you think this is a good thing? Are we going to see more of this? What's your take on it?
Well, the popular culture in the world today is very influential. In my heart, politics is going a little bit too much in that direction. Like it's almost like a TV show. Instead of serious public service and doing the country's business, the world is watching. They're interested. Can we peacefully transfer power? Is the United States still going to be the leader of the free world? And so I hate to see too much of this become just bad television. This is not a TV show. This is serious business. The future of the free world hangs in the balance. We've got this extraordinary, nearly 250-year history. It needs to be carried forward. So as far as I'm concerned, they can say whatever they want to because First Amendment's really strong in this country, but it doesn't really do much good.
All right, before we let you go, Donald Trump just spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu. Did you get a chance to see it? What's your reaction on that?
Well, they're very similar people, actually. Even in the world, they have the same detractors and the same supporters. They both, frankly, have been in a lot of trouble in the past, but they both are also tough customers. And so, I think that Trump's been very loyal to Netanyahu. I think Netanyahu may not have survived until October the 7th happened last year. So it's very interesting how that all comes down. But they're kind of cut out of the same cloth. But I do think one of the big issues will be how the Middle East goes into the fall campaign. There'll be a lot of discussion about Gaza and Israel, whether or not Israel went too far, whether or not hostages are going to be released. We do want world peace, and we are called on to lead. So it's a big issue.
It certainly is, but always great to see you. And thank you so much for your time and expertise. Zach Wamp, see you soon.